Welcome to A24 Quest. Back in the groove, back in the swing, back in the... How is it going?
It's going.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been good. Been working, been stretching out, been taking showers.
I haven't.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Okay.
I like how you're just calling yourself out like that.
Wait for comedic pause while you visibly hear Josh scooting to the far end of the couch.
No, we were just waiting for the laughter of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
That laugh track that you put in every joke.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go through this whole hour-long episode, and I'm gonna put a laugh track after every single joke. Sometimes not even after jokes.
No, just like after phrases, just so that people know when to laugh.
Absolutely.
Laugh track.
So, we're back. We're back to doing regular episodes. The novelty of the last episode being our first in a long time is worn off, so we can begin our.
So we're grizzled now.
Yeah,
we're back to being grizzled and overworked and underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
Good, glad.
So we can begin our descent into mediocrity now.
Oh, again, you mean?
Again, yeah.
Good. And I think we're doing it with a couple of bangers.
Yeah, this is a real fun episode, I think. It's a really me episode. It's like two movies that I really like talking about. Although one of which I haven't ever really discussed with anybody because I just watched it for the first time a little bit ago. A few days ago, like about a week ago, and I haven't really talked with anybody about it.
I've been actively avoiding talking to you about these movies at work because I cannot wait to talk about them on this episode.
Okay, well, let's just jump right into it with our first In Fabric, which is a...
We can only say Giallo four
Giallo.
times.
So we have to
episode,
we have to have a Giallo jar. So every time somebody uses the phrase Giallo...
Okay, that's 3 right now.
Yeah.
You can only say it one more time throughout the rest of this episode.
Okay, we're going to get through the entire talk without using the G word. In Fabric is a horror movie heavily inspired by a certain genre. Popularized in Italy in the 70s and 80s. And at a certain point, I was wondering how this movie got made, and then in the opening credits, I saw executive producer Ben Wheatley, and it all came together. Ben Wheatley, you would know him as the director of Free Fire, and the director of High Rise.
See, I thought he was just the character from Portal.
Well, yeah, that too.
Okay.
The director of High Rise, Free Fire, A Field in England. Fairly prolific.
What's High Rise again?
High Rise is that Tom Hiddleston. It's a big. Well, that's what it is. It's like Snowpiercer but vertical.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is.
Tom Hiddleston, but a big building.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston in a big building. It's Snowpiercer in a skyscraper.
Okay,
right? That's
a
complete perfect analogy.
That makes a lot of sense, but I just love the phrase Tom Hiddleston, but in a big building.
Yeah. But yeah, you've probably seen a trailer or two. It's a good movie. I recommend it. As is Free Fire, and I hear a lot of good things about A Field in England, but I haven't seen it. Anywho, he executive produced this movie, and that explains how it got made, because he's got a little bit of clout. He's got a little bit of, he can do these weird things and get away with it. And this is a weird thing. Make no mistake.
This is a very weird thing.
This is a strange creation.
To right off the bat, I don't think I'd recommend this movie to most people.
That's fair.
In general.
I don't think I would either. With the small caveat, I think it's a pretty good dark comedy if you're into that kind of. It's got a very there's a TV show called Inside Number 9, which one of the recurring smaller characters in this is an actor who who is on Inside Number 9, and this has and once I realized that, I was like, this movie's got a very Inside Number 9 vibe to it.
You want to explain what that means so
okay.
I'm not totally left out?
All right, yeah, fair enough. Okay, Inside Number 9 is a British... I want to say it's not really horror. It's more like... It's a horror anthology that's not really specifically horror-based. There's a lot of horror episodes, but it's more... It's like Twilight Zone for dark comedy.
Okay, so kind of surreal and nonsense.
Yeah, it's always got twists. It's always humorous, and it's always dark.
Got it.
And it's a very, again, another recommendation. It's a good show. This movie's got a Inside Number 9 tone to it. It's kind of a comedy, and I didn't really realize it was a comedy. Well, maybe it kind of turns into a comedy in its second half.
A lot in the second half, and a little bit in the first half.
A little bit, yeah. It's more of a straightforward stylistic horror movie, the first half. Okay, just to say, this is not something that you would know going into this, because I didn't, but this movie is a bit of an anthology. It's broken into two distinct halves, which kind of intersect, but it's... Okay, this central focal point of the film is a dress that is haunted by the spirit of like a old-fashioned model woman who died and something like that.
Yes.
And it resides in this department store, which is...
I don't know the answer.
I don't know what's up with this department store, but it's run by witches or something.
Well, it's run by a weird masturbating man.
Yeah.
Who is like in charge of a harem,
harem of witches?
Witches?
Yeah.
Doll, like mannequin witches? Like
yeah. They're like mannequins brought to life or something like that.
Yeah, and they like hypnotize you kinda.
Yeah, and their front contact with the outside world is this freaky Romanian woman who I don't remember her character name, but she's the best part of the movie.
Yes.
She's wonderful.
Yes, she is.
And by the way, I would like to say I took notes for this movie. Back when we used to do A24 Quest, I used to take notes, and I took notes for this movie, and I called her. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can quote it directly from my notes. The describe her. This sounds like I'm setting up for something awful, but it's not. Let's see. Creepy Romanian witch lady is awesome. And I would like to say, I would like to pat myself on the back for that, because I'm usually really bad at picking out accents. And I just used Romanian as like a general like Eastern European. Like I didn't know if she was actually Romanian. It just sounds punchier if you call her Romanian. And then I looked up the actress, and she's born in Romania.
Nice job.
So my accent radar is in tune. So that's my thing for the. I also wrote beautiful synth score, chef's kiss.
Kiss.
Worst date ever.
Yeah.
The first date
she goes on. Yeah.
Mannequin bush.
Okay. Hold on.
Well, the next one's mannequin bush also, and then whacking off about mannequin bush, and then oh god, oh fuck. And that's where the notes stop.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know which scene this happens during.
Exactly. So just a heads up, I watched both of these films with my brother.
Oh, yikes.
Just so you know, because convince me, you're like, okay, so Climax isn't nearly as bad as Into the Void, so it'll be fine. So I watched both of these with my brother again.
Well, I said Climax isn't as bad as Under the Void. I didn't say In Fabric isn't.
That's true, but that didn't stop me from watching both of them with him.
Yeah. And I did specifically warn you that we're watching the unrated cut. And I looked it up. The only difference between the unrated cut and the theatrical cut is the mannequin scene's a little longer in the unrated cut. That's like the one thing they had to cut.
Understandably.
Because it got like, it's something like it got an NC-17 with the mannequin scene involved, which Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird and pretty graphic. I don't want to spoil the mannequin scene because whatever you're thinking, it's probably not that.
Probably not.
So I feel like it's
not.
experienced.
If you just like think about this on a like if what we've talked about has led you to the exact scene in the movie in your own head without seeing the movie, I'm concerned for your general well-being, I guess.
Yeah. And anyway, let's get back on track. What was I trying to say? So, okay, there's this weird department store. It's like a coven of witches or something. I have no idea. And they happen to be in possession of a dress, beautiful pink red dress that is haunted. And they know this, I think.
Yeah.
And they sell it to this woman, kind of a down on her luck black woman living in central London, recently divorced, trying to get by with her adult son, who's just like a...
Getting back in the dating scene.
Yeah, getting back in the dating scene. Her divorced son, who is dating Captain Phasma. And...
Okay, wait, okay. Her divorced son is dating Captain Phasma?
Yeah, well, her son. Her son from the recent marriage is dating Captain Phasma, and Captain Phasma is kind of a nasty, kind of like disgusting person, and so she buys this dress.
It's fine. I'm fine.
Because creepy Romanian witch lady talks her into it in her usual manners, and the dress gives her a rash. And then the dress messes up her washing machine. And then the dress does a whole, like...
Pounces on her?
Yeah, the dress attacks people, but it doesn't ever really do much. Through means not necessarily... through means not necessarily related to the dress, it kills her eventually.
Like a dog attacks her because of the dress.
Yeah.
But the dress is fine and she's hurt.
And this movie's silly. It's really silly. It's really weird. And then she dies because she gets into a car crash because she sees a mannequin on the side of the road. She full on hereditaries herself, and it's a joy to see.
You can't just say that.
Talking about Hereditary in a couple weeks. I just have to get it out
ready.
There. Yeah.
This is just preemptively.
Yeah, preemptive Hereditary references, getting them out of the way.
Got it.
And you're like, okay, so our main character just died. Hold on, what's that? Is that the runtime of the movie? There is there like an hour left? And yeah, this movie's like two short stories strung together, both focusing on the dress. It's a mini anthology of just two stories.
I hope you really wanted to learn more about a washer machine repairman.
Yes, and you know what? I'll flat out say it. I like the second half way more than the first.
Absolutely,
because
it's way more entertaining.
It's a lot funnier. The first half is just kind of gross, and it makes you feel bad for everybody involved, and it's uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, and it's not scary. And then it just comes to a weird, unsatisfactory close.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then this new thing started up, and initially I was like, oh man, this is a weird premise, but I'm just not getting a whole lot out of it. And then it turns into a comedy.
Yeah.
Full on dark comedy.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty funny. In a lot of scenes, I was laughing.
Yeah, there's a solid. So there, as a whole, there's probably a solid 30 minutes of phenomenal jokes. If you quick cut everything together.
Yeah.
I would love to sit and watch just a 30-minute long video of these fantastic jokes. But the problem is that there's the first half of the movie that already makes you not care for a good portion of it, and then there's the second half that is there's some good pacing in it sometimes, but other times it feels very slow and drawn out. And I'm sure that's the point, but once again, let's...
Frankly, I think this idea and what they did with it would be better suited for like a mini series.
Yeah, something broken down into
Like
smaller episodes.
Like 30-minute episodes. Not even like hour-long episodes. Like little vignettes.
I completely agree.
About this department store. Because fair play to the filmmakers. I liked the department store. And I liked the characters involved.
Yeah.
And I liked the two gay bank managers.
Oh, they were fantastic.
Again, those are the other like two best, like the Romanian witch lady and the two bank manager guys are like the three best characters in the movie.
Yeah.
Any scene involving them is gold.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
I would watch a whole miniseries involving these characters in this universe.
Yep.
And the dress just coming into the hands of different people and how it lives. But as a movie, you get enough of the interesting stuff to keep you sort of entertained, but you're left feeling like it is both too drawn out and not drawn out enough.
Yeah. It's you don't get enough time with the actual people you care to spend time with, and then at the same time you're spending a lot of time just kind of tooling around and seeing pretty colors, or people are just sitting sadly looking at the ads to find somebody to date.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of downtime in this film.
Absolutely. And, what was I going to say?
I don't know,
I liked the ending. I feel like that's going to be pretty divisive, but I don't know. I'm a fan of when everything catches on fire and it's just loud noises for 10 minutes.
I mean, I guess I can't disagree.
I'm a fan of that kind of thing. The Romanian witch lady, I feel like I should really learn her character name because she's the best part of the movie, but there's this very bizarre sequence where like somebody like uses a mannequin to smash open a display case, and she like goes to the side of the mannequin and she's like comforting it as if it's a dying person, because I guess maybe it is.
Yeah,
like we don't know.
See, that's the thing, is I have no idea what's going on, and as far as like the backstory of all this.
Yeah,
it's wild.
I want to know more.
It's a wild world.
I want to know more about what's going on in this thing.
I want to know more about the B side of the characters. Like,
yeah,
I want to know more about the store, but we didn't spend a ton of time there. I want to know more about the creepy masturbating guy, because I feel like something's happening there.
Yeah, he's great too.
I want to know more about the bank guys, because there's definitely something going on there.
Yeah,
like.
And this movie, like, it introduces these weird concepts, and it's almost refreshing to see a movie where it's like it goes it's full send on these weird concepts, and it does not pull any punches. Like the one of the funniest repeating gags in the movie is the washing machine repair guy, or the washing machine repair guy. He can hypnotize people.
Yeah, it's so good
because he has this hypnotic quality of like when he drones on about people just zone out.
Yeah, he just talks about how to fix a washing machine, and it hypnotizes people.
Yeah,
because he just drones on about it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh god, the interaction between him and the bank guys is like my favorite part of the film.
Yeah,
they're just like, can you explain how to fix a washing machine?
I like how they're always suggesting role play. Even when they meet with the woman in the first half of the film, they're like, would role play help?
Would role play help? They're so good.
Yeah. In Fabric, 6 out of 10. Maybe a 5.
Yeah, I'd say somewhere around there.
If there's plenty of interesting stuff in it, but it's not a big picture movie. You gotta look at like the little things that are good about it. The big picture, because the big picture is it's kind of weird. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
watch a supercut of it.
Oh yeah, I guess I kind of have to like whenever we cover a horror movie, I feel like I have to actually ask, is it scary? And I feel like answer is kind of no.
No.
I wasn't frightened by this
There's
movie.
only one scene, and it's not scary. It's just upsetting.
Yeah.
If you don't like mannequins, it'll be very scary.
Yeah, it might freak you out a little bit if you don't like mannequins, but it's not. No, it's not scary.
Yeah, I agree.
So, there it is. It's funny.
It is funny.
So it gets that right, but
are you ready for mission?
Yeah, we have planned.
Well, I have a drink over here.
Oh yeah. So I'm undergoing various medical issues and whatnot.
Just various medical.
Yeah, but I'm taking medication and stuff, and I can't drink. So when Josh came over, I offered to make him a cocktail, something that I've never made before, and I can't taste. So he has to be my guinea pig.
I can't smell anything because I took a
probably
shower. All I can smell is my hair.
It's probably been watered down a little bit.
Oh, that's fine.
That's a good sound. So it's... I don't have a name for it. It is gin, cranberry juice, and lemon juice.
In some kind of amounts.
Yeah, in completely free poured. No measuring.
No, I'm not a big fan
Okay.
of cranberry juice.
Yeah.
I am very picky about my gins.
Yeah.
And lemon juice usually makes me cry.
Yeah.
In a
Does it
good way.
remind you of the past?
Yes.
Was your grandfather a lemon?
But this ain't bad.
That's okay. That's genuinely good to hear. I can't imagine it would be too bad. Gin and fruit juice of any kind is usually a winning combination, and I like lemon juice in just about any cocktail.
What I'm really surprised about is, like, usually cranberry and lemon juice, you know, you're thinking super tart, and I was expecting it to, like, really just, like, make me want my face to pinch.
Yeah.
And then gin, I usually go to pine needles and kind of a refreshing taste.
Gin's kind of a bitter drink.
Yeah. And so I was expecting that to either hit me as well, and then just be in this really weird spot where I, like, everything is pulling in different directions on my face. But no, this actually works really well together.
That's good to know. Whenever I'm off of whatever medications I'm going to be on for the next month or so, I'll have to give it a shot.
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right. So, we've done the rising action and the intermission. Now it's time for the climax.
I'm glad you made that joke. Like, I don't know how long it took you to come up with that. I hope that was on the fly.
That was off the cuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good job.
Gaspar Noé.
My new...
My homie.
my guy.
My guy. Gaspar.
He is now
Hit
on...
me up, fam.
Sup, dog.
He's on a new level.
So I have, like, an internal list of directors that I keep track of.
And an internal list of directors that should be put on a watch list.
Yeah, and he's on both of them now.
Absolutely.
He used to just be on the watch list.
So you're keeping track of Gaspar Noé now?
I think I have to.
I
thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Love him or hate him, he's an interesting filmmaker.
Well, okay, so...
And a lot of people do love him, and a lot of people do hate him.
That's fair. In my time in art school, I mean, you learn a lot about how people treat art and how they want their art to be perceived. And this guy just seems to want to make people react, period.
Yes, he's a very reactionary type of fellow.
And if that's what you want, I mean, he's doing a job. In my opinion.
I would, and I would say there is a layer of artistic integrity to a lot of what he does, but it's mixed in with this extremism, in how he portrays concepts, and he is kind of a no holds barred kind of fellow,
which I also respect.
And this movie fits under that.
Yeah.
This movie is LSD bad.
This movie is LSD bad.
There's a little more to it than that, but
No,
not
that's the whole review
not
right
much
there.
more to it.
So let's just do a quick rundown of Enter the Void, right?
Yeah,
So
okay. Let's preface this. If you're not familiar with Gaspar Noé, he's a French director, I believe, who has done multiple films, all of which are the type of films that you would read articles about people walking out of Cannes. Is it pronounced Cannes or Cannes?
I think it's
Cannes. People walking out of Cannes because his films are so outrageous, you know.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy. And he's probably most known for a movie called Irreversible, which is infamous for being one of the most upsetting rape movies ever made. And
I don't want to watch that one.
Yeah, no, me neither. I've intentionally avoided Irreversible because I feel like it would just be too upsetting. And then Enter the Void is like a fan favorite of his, and me and Josh have seen Enter the Void, and I've seen it twice.
And
because
I didn't love it, but it was definitely interesting.
Yes, it's a meditation on the afterlife and incest.
Yeah.
And drug use.
Yeah.
And Climax, less incest. No incest.
No afterlife either.
Yeah, no afterlife. Plenty of ending life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
let's dig into it. We're not going to spoil the ending.
No,
but like this is an experience movie.
Yeah,
so we can talk about a lot of it.
I feel like it would be fair to spoil a fair amount of it because our review is pretty much gonna start and end with saying it's a very upsetting, very visceral, nightmarish kind of movie.
Yeah.
And if that sounds like your cup of tea, go for it. Also, if you don't mind 15-minute long dance interludes,
which I loved,
which is actually one of my favorite parts in the movie.
It was very entertaining.
If you're into dance and if you're into like weird dark horror, then watch Suspiria, but also watch this.
but also this. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't want to I really want to go just full spoilers if I'm honest with you. If you don't want to, I'll respect your wishes, but like
I honestly, once again, like I said, I don't think spoilers on this are going to actually spoil the movie.
Not really, no, because it's not about the plot. It's okay.
What goes on?
Climax is about a group of a dance troupe, independent dance troupe, who are practicing for a big event or something, and they're
going to America.
Yeah, and they've rented a abandoned schoolhouse or whatever, abandoned high school or something, which is great. I love the setting of the film. It's really unique. You don't see.
It was weird.
And they're this whole night to practice and to party, and as a send off. And
before going to America.
Yes. And they open. It opens with a. I don't know how long, but it's a long, unbroken take of them dancing.
Well, it opens with interview tapes.
Right, yeah, that's right.
All of the individual characters speaking in their individual languages or French.
With a lot of, wait for it, giallo tapes all around the TV. That's the last usage. And we didn't even use it for In Fabric.
You're right.
Yeah. There's a lot of
inspiration around this TV.
VHS tapes and DVDs and whatnot, and books all around this TV. Lots of giallo.
Now you did it.
I went over.
You did it. You son of a bitch.
This is where the tie between these two movies comes. They're both extremely giallo.
I swear
They're both extremely giallo.
I will shut this thing down.
But yeah, anyway, he's wearing his inspirations on his sleeve.
Yeah.
With these.
So the intro is actually kind of boring to me, but I think it's a fantastic way to introduce your characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you just
in a way that makes sense to the plot.
You just get all the exposition out of the way right up front, and then you just throw them into this scenario.
Yep. So the individual characters I think are incredibly important in this movie. You know, just learning how everybody, what everybody thinks and how they're going to interact is what this movie is kind of about.
Yeah.
And then it just throws you from learning all of these characters into what you said, like a 20-minute long dance montage?
Yeah. And it's
uncut, like
it's impressive.
It's really, this entire movie is incredibly impressive as far as uncut takes.
Yeah. And there's a lot of very long takes.
The last
movie.
45 minutes I think I saw was uncut.
Yep. Yeah, lots of one-ers.
Oh my god. Like, I remember Birdman, I was baffled. Like, this entire movie is doing a lot of that kind of same thing, but it's even less noticeable.
Yeah. No, yeah, you hardly notice it because this movie's got a distinct flow to it. And you don't notice takes because the movie just sweeps you up with its trippy atmosphere after a certain point. I just want to give a shout out to Sofia Boutella.
Yeah.
The kind of the movie who's like the only actress in there who is like globally known because she's the mummy in the Mummy, you know, the Brandon Fraser movie, and she is
she was great.
Yeah.
Not as the Mummy, but as the lead character.
Oh, shots fired. No, she's in several things. She was in Kingsman. She was what's it, Giselle or whatever from Kingsman. Giselle. Okay. You know what I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean.
The lady with the knife feet. She and you know, she's in this movie and she's dancing. And I was like, she's not a bad dancer.
She's
dancing. She dancing. And I was like, again, this is one of those things where I paused it and I was like, does Sofia Boutella have any like dance background? And yes, she was a dancer before.
I think everybody had to be.
No, everybody in this movie is real dancers.
Yeah, and they were all phenomenal dancers.
And yeah, because it's you don't even need to look that up. It becomes extremely apparent because there's some top notch. And it's not even like traditional dancing. It's very expressionistic. Very interpretive dance.
Dance. You got a lot of drag, you know, a lot of the dead drops going on.
Yeah.
You got street hip hop dancing going on.
Well, you got straight up break
dancing.
Yeah. It's very free form.
It's great.
Yeah, lots of different styles and the interpretive dancing is my favorite part because there are whole sequences of this movie that are like expressed through interpretive dance and shouting.
Yeah, that's real.
Anyway, let's get to it. The movie's setup's pretty normal, and I noticed I liked how the movie's edited because before the event happens, it's cut like a documentary. Like it just cuts from oneers, like cuts from one takes of people talking, and it's just like people hanging out at a party, and you're getting to know these characters, and then they start drinking the punch, and it is revealed that the punch was spiked with LSD, and everything falls apart.
Mm-hmm. So all of these dances have been brought together by a single person who was a dancer and is now kind of leading them as a troupe. Sure. And she made up this punch for him, and so then they immediately go, "It was you!"
Yeah.
And start pointing fingers at everybody.
Yeah, it immediately turns into paranoia, which I liked.
I love.
And so, once the LSD kicks in and characters start behaving a little wonky, and then it's like one character's just like peeing on the ground and doesn't even realize she's doing it. And then you realize this movie, the way it falls apart feels like an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
I mean, I gotta say, I've always been like, the idea of being like drugged and out of control is horrifying.
Yeah.
And then watching this movie just like confirms that even harder. Like,
There's this thing with LSD where if somebody has a bad experience with it, or just in general, you want somebody who's sober to be around and kind of babysitting you.
And now imagine you're with a bunch of strangers who are these like highly eccentric dancers that are now screaming because they're also having a bad time.
And there's already like underlying tensions in the group.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie just feels so nightmarish because there's one person who didn't take the punch, who wasn't drugged, or
Two
maybe
people.
Two. One of them's a kid.
No, 3 people then. The first guy, he gets pointed out because he doesn't drink, period.
Right.
And they immediately throw him outside.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they blame him and then they throw him out into the cold.
The second person is this girl that she was feeling sick. She wasn't feeling very good, so she went back to her room. And then we find out she's pregnant.
Yeah. And she hasn't taken anything.
And they don't believe her.
And they don't believe her. And then one of the other dancers finds her in her room, and she's like, I'm pregnant. And then the dancer's like, you spiked everyone, I don't believe you. And then she in the most Gaspar Noé imaginable move, she kicks the pregnant lady right in the belly.
Yeah.
And performs a good old abortion on her.
Yep.
And
it's real upsetting.
It's very upsetting.
It's real upsetting.
It's really rough. And then the pregnant lady goes out and the crowd is yelling at her to abort her own fetus, and she starts punching herself in the belly. And then she starts cutting her arm, and the effect looks so good. I don't even know how they pulled it off. It looks so real.
It's really well done. It's very upsetting.
Because it's so realistic, because she starts cutting herself, and the blood, it's not like in a movie where like you
like sprays
cut, and then a spray of blood right in the she cuts, but you don't see anything, and then you look at her arms as the shot goes on, and the cuts slowly start to seep through her skin.
Yeah.
It's like, that's really realistic.
It's really well done.
How did they do that? It looks real.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say it is, but and then it just falls apart. It devolves into an absolute just nightmare scenario. And
you want to talk about this the lady who set up the show here?
No.
Okay,
no,
well
I
will
don't, because that's like the worst part, and we're talking about a movie who's already aborted a fetus.
Yeah. She has a son who is at this entire thing, who wants to drink this punch oh so badly. She says, nope, don't do that. So she puts him to bed so that everybody can go party. Things start going bad. There's the whole aborted thing going on. And the kid is seen drinking the punch.
Yeah.
And at this point, we know it's spiked, and it's very, very bad. And the mom, starts losing her mind because she's also been drinking the punch.
Yeah.
Then proceeds to take the kid and lock him into an electrical closet.
Yeah, with exposed breaker panel right in this corner of the room with all the electrical stuff. And she said, it'll kill you.
Just stay calm. And so she's just screaming and crying with her kid at a locked door.
Yeah,
right now.
So she just locked her kid in a room to keep him away from these savages who are just losing their minds and hurting each other.
Yep.
And she locks him away, and she's just on the outside of the door just screaming and crying because she's just trying to keep everybody away from her son.
Yep. And things, other things happen, and then we come back to her, and she's not having a good time. And then, we go back to our main character for a little bit. What's her name again?
I don't remember. A while since I say that.
Okay, and so we go back to our main character, who's the famous girl.
Yeah.
And the lights immediately go out, and everything turns red.
Yeah.
And all you hear is just a gut-wrenching scream happening.
Yeah, because the lights went out because something got fried in the electrical panel.
And the mom can't find the key to the electrical closet anymore.
Yeah.
And there's no sound coming from the closet.
Yeah. No, that kid's straight up dead.
Yeah, that kid's dead. Yep.
It's insane. And then
it took me like 5 minutes to figure out, oh,
yeah,
he's what made that
Yeah,
happen?
right.
Oh no.
And you kind of like pull away from that, and it's like you're all your focus wants to be there, but the way the movie flows, it's like you just kind of pull away from that, and then it's on to the next thing. And then later, the next you see is the mom wandering through the crowd later, and she's just talking about how she's gonna kill herself. She's just muttering to herself, like, he's dead. I'll be with you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie's rough.
This movie's real rough.
This movie's very rough. And yeah, like as it goes on, lots of interpretive dance, lots of people flailing around. And I would like to point out that this movie's soundtrack is a compilation of lots of French EDM artists, most notably Daft Punk and Aphex Twin. And when the Aphex Twin kicks in, you know the movie's getting brutal.
It's good.
It's
real good.
It's really, really intense. Really nightmarish. I keep saying nightmarish because that's the best way to describe it. It feels like a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's just so like enthralling.
Well, and it has that pace where it's like horrible things are happening, but you can't like stay and stop or do anything about it.
Dwell on it. It's just sort of
we're just like on to the next thing, and you don't want to know what the next thing is. It might not be bad, but you don't want to know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just unfortunate, the whole thing. Like, people just start beating on people, and people just start wanting to have sex with people, and at one point there's just an orgy on the dance floor.
Yeah. And that scene, that shot with the orgy scene, the way that's shot is just like you can't see a thing.
No, not at all.
It's like a 5-minute unbroken take of just like shit. You can't see anything. It's all just complete chaos and just noise and lights,
and floors and lights and
it's like it's the climax of the action.
Yeah.
And
it's upsetting.
At one point, one of the black characters knocks out one of the white characters, draws a swastika on his forehead.
Yeah.
Lots of depraved stuff happens, and
like, there's nothing to signify that he's actually a Nazi.
No, it's just racism.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about this movie. It's upsetting, but I loved every minute of it. Like,
it's really upsetting. It has the only thing that fell a little flat for me is the Gaspar Noé. At the very end, there's words on that blatantly state like the themes of the movie, and there are little like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
I don't know where you're going with this Gaspar. Well, because it's really vague and kind of like I don't know the word I'm looking for.
I understand what you're saying though. Like, all of a sudden we have these flashing. They kind of look like band logos or like I don't even know what else to call them. Title cards, maybe.
Yeah.
That just flash across the screen with different text, and yeah, it just ends up being kind of useless, but very chaotic, but very bizarre. And at this point, you're just like, I don't know what else to think about everything else, so I guess this is happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, yeah, I didn't know what else to do at that point, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It kind of takes it out of you to talk about this movie.
Yeah.
It's
good though.
I think it's right up there in terms of A24 Quest horror movies.
Yeah, it's this is definitely one of the best A24 films I've seen, and that's not saying that I'd recommend it to everybody, but it's probably a 9 for me.
I mean, like with Gaspar Noé, like genuinely, like you have to, there's like trigger warnings you have to give out. Like there are certain things that happen in this film that are just gonna be too much for some people, and that's just a fact.
Absolutely.
That's just a fact of the media.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't I wouldn't tell my parents to watch this.
No.
I wouldn't tell most friends or family to watch this in general. But that doesn't make it any less of a number 9 film.
Yeah. Yeah. That's about all I have to say. I'm looking forward to Gaspar Noé's next film. He's directing Avengers 5. And I couldn't be more excited for it.
Oh my god, I don't even want to make jokes about it. That's the thing, is like, if you make jokes about it, it's just going to get way too dark way too fast, and I just can't do that right now.
Yeah. I feel like the only way the Avengers series can be sustainable is if they go the way of weird art house stuff. Like
that would be amazing.
Like, get like Woody Allen to direct an Avengers movie. Get like Wes Anderson to direct a Avengers movie, and then just have it be like give it a budget of like $2 million.
That would be
just sort of like.
The problem is that they're still too controlling. So you could take those directors, but it's gonna look the exact same as they always do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe it's due for a change. Maybe get whoever is in charge of the universe out of there, and then put Wes Anderson in charge. Why not? Have it all get run by Indian Paintbrush and Fox. I mean, Disney owns Fox, so yeah, just hand it over to Fox Searchlight. Have them do all the Avengers movies, and they're just going to be like low-key character studies with like quirky humor, and they all star Jason Schwartzman for some reason.
Iron Man ass.
Jason Schwartzman.
Captain America as
like Jason Schwartzman just always plays like a main role, like not necessarily the main character, but like he plays multiple characters in the same universe.
So it's a very hardcore Henry-esque film.
Yeah, and then when the like ensemble Avengers 6 with all the new Avengers comes out, it's like Jason Schwartzman plays like 8 characters.
Yeah, but the main characters are all different people.
Yeah,
that'd be so good.
Yeah, Bill Murray's in most of them.
I mean,
yeah.
One of them is straight up just his Garfield.
So yeah, Climax, 9 out of 10. Good movie. Show your grandma.
I don't even know. Once again, there's jokes I want to make that I just cannot make.
That's fair. Which movie do you think? Okay, I think it's Climax. I think Climax wins the episode, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to say In Fabric, give it a shot. Not my favorite, but you might like it. Especially if you like the G word. But Climax, even if you don't like the G word, it's worth giving a shot if you like surreal, nightmarish.
Do you like the Goonies?
Insanity. Yeah, do you like the Goonies? You'll probably like Climax. That's
I wish
that's
the
my
Goonies
review.
was directed by Gaspar Noé.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a thing? A Goonies remake directed by Gaspar Noé.
Oh God, imagine.
Oh yeah, Sloth would be a whole different animal.
Sloth would be pretty similar, actually.
Yeah, I suppose.
Except it would be a lot more
well, it wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't be like
they. It wouldn't be friendly.
It wouldn't be like they find Sloth and then they realize he's a gentle giant and they befriend him. It would be like they find Sloth and they beat his head in with a rock.
Yeah, probably. Realizing that he's disabled, they just kill him horribly.
Yeah. It's not even they beat him over the head with a rock
because they're scared. They just
learned about who he is, but they hate him.
Yeah.
And that's how Gaspar Noé would handle that.
God, Goonies would be such a different movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, we should do a whole podcast episode on like classic movies reimagined by the most inappropriate directors.
That would be so good.
Oh man, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang reimagined by Robert Eggers.
Oh God, what would that even? I don't even know, man. It would be definitely a lot more desaturated.
Yeah. It's just like the. I can picture it now. The soundtrack is just. the film's color palette is just blues and browns.
Yeah.
And everybody's dialogue is unintelligible because it's some like lost ancient English. And you have to have subtitles on, and Willem Dafoe's in it.
Oh, and there's still definitely a nice, good, like, sea shanty version, like, almost just slamming fists and feet version of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang going on.
Chitty Chitty. Chitty Chitty Bang! It's a... Chitty Chitty Bang Bang! Yeah,
oh, God.
It's just like a nightmare.
Yeah, definitely a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
I would definitely pay to see it though. Like,
yeah. So Climax, 9 out of 10. It wins this episode.
Next time,
let's talk about it next time. Why not? We're almost on our mark, which feels right.
That feels right.
Next time is gonna be one of those. Either it's gonna be surprisingly great, or it's gonna be real boring.
Yeah, because it's real hard to tell at this point.
One movie I know literally nothing about other than that guy's in it. 2 episodes in a row, and I still don't know his name. Is it? He just died recently. Burt Reynolds. And Chevy Chase. Okay. Yeah, Burt Reynolds is in it.
I don't like Chevy Chase usually.
No, that's fair. Some people don't. I've always kind of liked him, but
is that because of Community?
Apparently, he's just like a big prick in real life.
Yeah,
but I don't mind. I mean, I separate the art from the artist. I think Chevy Chase is funny. I really like him in the "You Can Call Me Al" music video. But other than
what
that,
a fucking ball! Yo.
What, is that not what most people think of?
No, it's definitely what I think of. That's what's funny about it. Like, I
know that's like the pinnacle of his career. Like, forget the entire Vacation franchise. That's like the peak.
Oh my god!
You know, my favorite. I was just thinking about that the other day because I think you played it at work.
Yeah.
And I was picturing the video in my head as I heard you playing it. And my favorite part, like, underappreciated, is the moment right at the beginning where Chevy Chase walks in, he's holding a drink, and he puts it over to the table, and he drops it, and there's, like, no surface on the table. It just drops right through. Yeah. And no, it's a really small detail, but it's really, really funny.
That's so funny, though, that, oh my god. Because, yeah, every time I think Chevy Chase, that's immediately what I go to, but I don't think there's anybody else that does that.
I think that's a fair to say. I think most people immediately picture Vacation. Yeah.
The entire Vacation series.
Yeah.
Community is a big one, especially since that's coming, like, back for a weird reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's with the whole streaming stuff, people have been going nuts over Community lately.
Yeah. Anyway, now we got a new feather in Chevy Chase's cap, doing a whole drama with A24. We're doing The Last Movie Star.
Yo!
And given that it's Josh's pick, he's choosing to go
the next one up.
The next one in the run. We're going Lean on Pete, which is a horse movie.
It's a horse.
That's all I know about it. It actually got pretty good reviews when it came out, but I know it's the movie about a horse.
I hope there's like 20 minutes of a horse that just dies, and then the rest of it's just him trying to like lean on it.
The Lean on Pete of the title is referring to the fact that he goes out in the wilderness and his horse dies. And to protect himself from the harsh winds at night, he has to lean on the horse to sleep.
It's the Tauntaun scene all over.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Tauntaun / The Revenant.
Yeah.
Like I said, it could be great. It could be boring. We'll see. These episodes are always interesting, because when you go into this where there's like 2 movies you don't know a whole lot about. I mean, I don't know if you know.
I have no idea.
You don't know a whole lot about these movies. Sometimes you come away like they're both okay, and sometimes you come away with like hidden gems. You know? So I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna watch at least one of them tomorrow.
I was really hoping you'd say I'm gonna watch at least one of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch at least one of the 2, at least half of the movies.
That's so good. Yeah.
That is my guarantee to you. No more cut bank. The
God.
one that got away is as I like to call cut bank. Or what was it called? Cut bank?
Yeah, it's called cut bank. It's not good.
The one that got away, the one that I still need to go back to finish my A24 filmography.
I mean, don't.
Okay. The really irritating thing is if we keep up with this and we catch up with the releases, I cannot say that I've seen every A24 movie until I see Cut Bank.
That's
so
very
I
true.
have to go back and watch it.
I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not just because you missed it. It's more because you have to then spend the time to go back and watch it.
Yeah. Well, it's just the victory lap, right? I've seen so many shitty A24 movies, I can sit through one more.
Yeah, it's true.
But this week was a rare case where, well, I mean, I guess debatable whether or not you could call In Fabric shitty, but neither of them were that shitty.
Definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
And then we ended on a real good banger. I mean, I watched Climax last, so I had a blast.
That's the correct order to watch these two, I think. Because Climax will melt your brain, and you're not going to be in the mood for In Fabric afterwards.
No, I didn't watch another movie since that.
Yeah. Lean on Pete, the last movie star. Hope you enjoyed this episode. It was nice to see people coming out of the woodwork and saying they watched the last one, which I appreciated.
Hey guys, I saw the last one.
Yeah, it's nice to know
it's super cool.
that people, when I say people, I mean just like the handful of people that watch us, but it's nice to know.
Yeah, it's super cool. And
have a good one. Watch these movies if you want to be on the same page.
Definitely watch Climax.
Definitely watch Climax. And have a good day, baby.
Have a good day, baby. Why are you smacking shit?
See you on the next one.
Bye-bye.